Critics, can we talk? Hey everybody, I'm Geno Reynolds from The Real Geno. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because I have something I need to get off my chest. This video was inspired by two things. One, by something I experienced the other day and I really need to talk about, and the other was by Sean Chandler, who did a video on Rotten Tomatoes and Are Critics Out of Touch? If you want to see that video, go down to the description below where I've posted the link to it, and definitely check it out, and definitely subscribe to his channel. He's got some good stuff over there. Now, this video isn't about them being out of touch or anything like that. My opinion on that is, some are, some aren't. Some have evolved with the times, some have not. They really do need to evolve with the times. That's where a lot of YouTube critics come in, because they've kind of learned from the mistakes of the quote-unquote professional critic. If the quote-unquote big-time critics, again, find their love for movies, they could evolve with the times and they would be still relevant. Some have, some haven't. What I want to talk about today is something I experienced the other day at a screening. Critics, let me just put it this way. You know what? No matter what, the people around you are people, and you are a person too. You're not bigger than they are, not more important than they are. You're not high and mighty. Believe it or not, your shit does stink. What I'm trying to say is, when you're out in public at these movie screenings, don't be a Something I witnessed the other night just drove me mad, and it honestly made me ashamed to be a critic, at least somewhat. I was at a movie screening, and look, I'm not going to name names because I ain't that kind of guy. I'm not one of these big YouTube drama type guys. I just want to talk about movies. I just want to have fun with movies and entertainment. But this had to be brought up because it just made me mad, because it honestly gives us that are trying to be, good people and trying to be, good critics, it gives us a bad name when you're out there being an When I was at this screening, I was in line waiting for it. I think we lined up about an hour or so before the doors were to open. And I saw this guy come up about, 5-10 minutes before the movie started. And I know who this guy is, and I've heard stories, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just look. I've never met him, so I didn't want to pass judgment. But I'm just going to observe this, right? Though I was there to work, I had to watch. I had to know. I had heard the stories, and I had to know. What I proceeded to see was ridiculous. I saw this guy standing near the door, and I know the doors weren't locked. You could go in, because I went in and asked them, can I come in? They said, no, we're not letting people in yet. We got a movie running, and we'll bring people in about 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I've been in lines before. I've waited in many lines. The 5+ years I've been doing this, I've stood in a lot of lines. It's a part of the job. So I watched this guy walk up, and he walks up to the door and paces around the front door, kind of peeking in a little bit, just pacing a little bit. His little notebook in his hand, and it's like he was trying to say, let me in, and he just kept pacing back and forth like he expected them to just say, oh no, you're great, you can come on in. But they didn't. I hate to say it, but I kind of got a little bit of joy watching him have to walk to the end of the line with the look on his face that he had. Like, I don't know it's hard to describe, but it was kind of like, I'm not as important as I thought I was. So after the doors open, I go and get my seat. I was first in line. I let some girls cut in front of me. They just kind of walked in front of me. And I didn't want to say anything because, honestly, it didn't matter. I was near the front. I was going to get the seat I wanted, or at least similar to the seat I wanted. So, you line up soon enough, you get what you want, and that's good. And so I just let it go. I'm not, like I said, the point of this video, I didn't want to be a dick. So, so anyway, I get in there and I get my seat, and I sit down, and people, this was a college viewing, and they handed out tickets at the college around us, and people were packing this place. There wasn't many seats left by the time this was over. So then he comes in, and he goes and sits down and puts his little notebook down and all that, right? And okay, you got a seat, and he's just sitting there. And then he goes up, and what it turned out, he was going to get some snacks. As he was gone, a group of, I think it was 4 or 5 friends, got into the row he was in and sat down, and somebody sat in his seat. And the guy did have his notebooks and stuff there. Look, I'm not saying take people's seats. It's okay to take people's seats. But, okay, they sat down and they saw the stuff that the kid looked at the stuff. He saw it, and he knew, I think he knew he was taking someone's seats. I don't think he cared. That's another story. This guy comes in with his popcorn and whatever else he had to drink, whatever. And he comes in, and what would most people say if someone took their seat? Excuse me, you might have took my seat, or my stuff was there. Would you mind if I was sitting here? No, he comes in and he says, "Move down." Like that. He was mad. He was practically yelling. He says it like twice. "Move down. Move down," right? No, excuse me. No, hey, buddy. Nothing like that. He just comes in just furious, right? And I'm sitting there going, do you talk to everybody this way? So the kid moves down, and then the guy sits down, huffing, puffing, grumbling the whole time, right? And trying to cross his legs and everything, and he doesn't look like he feels comfortable. He's just grumbling, trying to shift himself into the seat. And then not even 10 seconds after he sat down and proclaimed his seat back, he moved. Right? He moved across the aisle to another set of, I think it was like 4 seats. And he's just like, the way he handled that, it's like, have you never talked to a human being before? Next was kind of funny because he's the type of person that likes to put his leg up on the seat. Now, if it's an empty theater, more power to you. You want to get comfortable, you want to spread out, whatever, right? You want to put your coat or your books on the seat next to you, and you want to put your leg up on the seat in front of you. I'm cool with that if the theater is empty. But this was a packed theater, and he proceeded to try to save the seats next to him when people were coming in, trying to get seats in the dark. And you know what a pain in the ass that is. A story for another day would be show up on time, but you know what? It was a free screening, and people are going to show up late. And people are going to show up late to a movie anyway. That's life. I watched him try to tell people these seats are taken. They're taken. He was there by himself working. Now, if they were really taken, I get it. But the fact that I don't want to sit by anybody else, I feel like I'm the king of the theater, I should get to sit by myself. That shit don't fly, especially in a packed screening. The funniest part was he eventually had to let these people in, or at least another group of people in. I think 3 groups asked him, and he finally had to let the 3rd group in. He finally had to let him in because there wasn't any more seats. Some of the other things were like, he left his cell phone on during the movie. And that's something that a lot of people do. He leaves his cell phone on, but he left it on to where you could hear alerts and everything like that. I was really hoping it was going to start ringing because he had an alert go off once or twice during the movie for a text message or something. And the person that was watching for pirators walked right past him. Oh, I thought he was going to get kicked out, which, for a critic getting kicked out of a movie, that's pretty bad. Oddly enough, I could see this douche nozzle trying to argue that he should be allowed to have his phone. Some of the screenings I go to, critics are allowed to have their phones, but the damn thing should still be on silent at least. Long story short, we as critics, especially those of us that have been somewhat in the public eye, I was on our local TV station, for about 5 years. And, I would get recognized out in public. I mean, my YouTube channel may not be that big right now, and I'm not going to get noticed from it very much, but I got noticed plenty whenever I was on the station I was on. And, even on your worst day, you still got to be nice. You cannot be a total dick to the public. You can't act like that. What type of a reputation does that give you if you're just a total dick to the people who are supposed to be watching you and watching you for your opinions? So critics, just, you're regular people too. And that's why a lot of the best critics are just regular guys. They're not all high and mighty anymore. They're just the regular guys that just give their opinions and try to have fun with it. not these guys that think their shit don't stink and they should be left alone, and they're more important than you because they talk about movies. We talk about movies. Movies are fun. This is something I have a good time doing. Do I take it seriously? You're damn right I do. But it doesn't mean that I think I'm all high and mighty and think that I'm not just a regular guy and think that people can't approach me or that people can't sit by me or that people can't talk to me. We're people. We're talking about movies to people. You're not saving the fucking world. So get off your fucking high horse and be nice to people when you're out in public. You can't be a dick about this stuff. I can't believe if you're a dick that people actually watch you. And that's the problem with I have with a lot of YouTube channels, is that people are just and they're the ones that are successful. I guess drama does sell. And if drama is the only thing that sells, you know what? Then my channel is going to fail, because I'm not about that. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't want to have problems with this stuff. I want us all to have a good time watching movies and TV and games or whatever, and just have a good time in a good community, having fun with stuff that is supposed to be fun. I like to think I'm a nice guy, and you know what? We all have our bad days. You know what? And I would believe that this guy was just having a bad day, but I've heard too many stories, and it's just that bad days are bad days, but this wasn't just a bad day. You could tell this was just how this guy acted. You know what? And I can't believe that people actually watch him. I can't believe that people would want to watch someone that is a complete in public. Guys, this is supposed to be fun. Bottom line is, critics, fans, we're all the same. We all love movies. We're all critics because we all talk about it. Just because you're in the public eye doesn't mean you're more important than everybody else. You're one of us. We're one of you. We're all the same. We're all people. We're all fans. We all love this stuff. Until next time, I'm Geno Reynolds from The Real Geno. If you like what you've seen here, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Thank you very much.